This is the worst structure in Minecraft. In fact, it's so bad, it's not even in the structure list. It's called a desert well, and today we're going to be transforming it. Stage number 1, make a wish. This one's pretty obvious, but I think to trigger all of the transformations that I want to do to this, we're going to throw in an item. Now, I'm curious, if I throw a book into this hopper, yes, that is detected by the observer. Okay, so if we throw a book onto this slab here, it will be picked up and that will activate our piston down here, but no other item will activate it. So that is the simplest little semi-item filter that fits within a 1x1 space. And the reason it needs to fit within a 1x1 space is because things are seriously about to change around here. Stage number 2. Terraforming with redstone. Now, originally, I did think that our little desert temple here could extend upwards and build a pyramid around it. But we've actually recently done self-building pyramids. That's probably the first time that sentence has ever been said. So instead, I want the floor around this thing to collapse, giving us a central monument in the middle and then multiple directions to go off in down underneath. Of course, this thing is over a flooded cave system. Now, I've been thinking a lot about how I want this to look, and I've decided on an inverted pyramid. I can't get away from these things. And I've also been thinking a lot about how I'm actually going to do the collapsing, and honestly, I think just the old sand on signs trick. I mean, we are in a desert. We can make use of the fact that sand falls. Right, this is already looking cool. However, I have just realized I probably want all of this to be slabs so that we can have a natural environment on top. If we don't have slabs, then the sand will fall, but then any areas with more sand will cause pileups and we won't get this nice effect. So the slabs will break the sand and allow us to maintain this aesthetic. All right, this is what we've got so far. Now I need to work on this central monument, and honestly, this is going to be really, really tricky. I really want this to look good, but I'm working with this. I mean, what am I meant to do with this? Oh my goodness, things are going very wrong. This is why I don't do water. I think I've come up with something quite smart here. When this thing activates, I want the water to flow down from the fountain, and as far as I can tell, if I power this piston, yeah, the dripstone falls and the water falls as well. Now, this also means that we can use observers down at the bottom of this thing to detect the water flowing in and use that to activate some redstone, and I think I've got a cool idea. I've got a dropper in the middle, and we could have it so that when this thing activates, items start flowing out of the water streams. And it should actually be really easy to do. We should just need this observer here, and this should be everything. Okay, after a lot of work, I think the design for this central monument is done. And I personally think this looks really, really cool. We've got some hints towards the mechanicalness down at the bottom. We've got, I don't know, some sinisterness, a handful of riches that the player could strip, and of course the animated water streams and things, and some integrated redstone. So let's do the first test to see if all of that is working. When we throw a book into the top, all of these pistons should fire, water streams should run down, and items should start flowing out. It would help if I had good aim. That was so embarrassing. Here goes. Book is in, pistons fire, water runs down. And items are beginning to flow out in all directions. This is very satisfying. Now, some items are getting stuck in the middle. Is there something we can do about that? Like, if we were to put a wall in here, would that move the items and force them to come out? I mean, it kind of does, but it forces them to go out in one direction. Yeah, they literally only go that way. Is that a problem? Yeah, I think I prefer the alternate method of some of the items being stuck in the middle and giving the player a task to swim up the water streams. You hear that? It's not a bug of the system, it's a feature. This is also going to be very satisfying, but I'm going to leave the full collapse to the end of the video. For now, it's time for the chambers. So I want to have 4 chambers going off in different directions in this pyramid, and 3 of them are going to be bad. One of them is going to be potentially good. So let's think, how do I want to do the redstone here? I mean, I guess this could be the flat ground, and then we'd need to have pressure plates to ensure that the sand doesn't pile up. And then here, I guess we'd have to have, yeah, a 3x3 piston door. Okay, I've tried my best to make it look a little bit more exciting while still maintaining all of the kind of half blocks and stairs and things that will break all of the sand. It's a little bit tricky, but I think I've pulled it off. So now I need to attach a bunch of slime blocks and honey blocks to these. So when we stand on the pressure plates, this door will drop down into the ground. Now there are a number of different ways that I could do this, but I think for ease, I'm just going to use triple piston extenders. So here comes the opening. that is all looking very good. So our door is fully open, and then when we want it to close back behind us, yeah, we just power that redstone line. These triple piston extenders by Sassy Fish are so good. However, they do require button inputs, so let's switch out those pressure plates. And now everything should be up and running, and this thing is ridiculously satisfying. I think one detail that I'd absolutely love to add to this is a little bit of sound effect action. So with the Wither Skull on top of the note block, a redstone clock, and a pulse extender, yes, we kind of get the sound of stone moving on stone. That makes me think that actually we should swap out these copper blocks. Okay, I spent far too long making this work, but I do think this looks like a pretty cool entrance, and I think the sound effects are incredibly fitting. Oh, this says Tomb 0, by the way, just multiple times over. I don't know. It was meant to say Tomb 01, but look, the one just goes really big. So now that I've got a design that I'm happy with, let's do 3 more of them. And I gotta say, this is looking really, really cool. Like, as far as Minecraft structures go, it kind of actually looks like it could be in Minecraft. As in, it looks like it could be a sort of real structure. It's a little bit more amped up than they usually go, and obviously there's more redstone, but still, I'm pretty proud of myself on this one. So now let's get some tombs on the go. As I say, I want 3 of these to be bad, 1 of them to be good. So out the back of each of these areas, I want a standardized room. By this, I mean all of the rooms will be identical, and I think I'm going to stick with the tough theme. But then I've also mixed in some of the sandstone theme as well. So we've got these sort of structural braces. I like this. I think it feels good, but the thing that is really going to bring it together is these. I have never really used these before. Not entirely sure how they work, but I think they're perfect for what I want to do. So if I put 4 in here, I mean, is this going to be like ridiculously intense? That looks so cool. Okay, to start with, that looks ridiculously cool, but I'm assuming, yep, just like a regular mob spawner, we do a bit of this. Now, they are skeleton spawners. Okay, let's say in the middle, we're going to have a loot chest, but it's surrounded by skeletons. If I now close this up, what happens? So if I close it and go into survival mode, it doesn't sound like anything is spawning, potentially because we were in peaceful mode. I still can't hear anything spawning though, which is good. When I open this door... Okay, that's pretty perfect with what I want to happen. But also, I mean, it's pretty intense. We're all just shooting each other. Oh my goodness. I don't think I ever set the spawn for this world. I would have lost the build. Oh my goodness, that would have been dreadful. This is thousands of blocks away from where I started. Well, regardless of that, this room works absolutely perfectly. So we need another 3 of them, and those 3 are now all done. So each of them have got working doors, all of them kitted out with the various different mob spawners and things. Imagine if you did this. I guess it would be fun if each room spawned something different. Oh, witches is pretty disgusting. I don't like this very much. Okay, so we sort of have one of everything. So as I've said many times now, 3 of these rooms are just going to have loot on the inside of them, but then also just destroy us with mobs. One of them is going to destroy us with mobs, but it's also going to drop us down into a different area. And I think I'm actually going to use the hidden staircase design that I did in the previous redstone video. So we can hook this up to a trap chest. You can see that piston is detecting the chest opening. So when we open the chest, that will open up this little staircase here. Have I remembered how to do all of the wiring? There's very little to this circuit, so it's kind of hard to forget. But yeah, it's all functioning properly. I really like this thing. If I send a 4-tick pulse into this, is it going to completely break it? Yes, that was honestly to be expected. What about if I send whatever pulse this is into it? Okay, that is very good. It is working. And you know what? We probably want this to be a one-time thing. So you walk in here, get absolutely blasted by witches, open up this chest, take out the loot, and then notice that a staircase has opened up behind it, and we travel down into this area. If we open this chest again, Yeah, nothing happens. Excellent news. So now we move on to the treasure maze. All right, it's time for us to clear out a fairly large area. Does this look big enough? I feel like this looks big enough. Water is going to be annoying. Whoa, this thing looks so cool from down here, though. Oh my goodness. The fire tick was not set to false. We absolutely could have had a situation where my redstone burned down. That is the second time in this video that I've almost lost this redstone build. So that sculk sensor is currently in the middle of the room. How close? Okay, they do actually have a fairly decent range. Alright, that's on the outside, but that reaches it. Okay, this is perfect. I want to make it so that we have a maze that you cannot cheat your way through. Oh, I was actually going to make it so that you couldn't break blocks, but making it so that you have to sneak your way around the maze seems incredibly harsh, but also hilarious. No, I'm not a particularly good maze builder, but I do remember from building mazes in the past that the thing that helps you out is if you actually plan out your route beforehand. Right, so I know for a fact that this maze design is possible. This is the central room that we're aiming for. This is really quite satisfying. I feel like it would be a really cool job to be a maze builder. If anyone is a maze designer, please let me know down in the comment section. I want to know more about your job. Right, this is what I've got. There are a couple of loops in there. I feel like this is actually a pretty evil design, because if you choose to use the technique of sticking to any given side, you will do but a big loop, very big loops, which will be extra painful if you don't have swift sneak and you're going through at a snail's pace. Okay, time for me to add in all of the blocks, and to be honest with you, I don't think I'm going to do anything pretty here. Gosh, this is starting to look a lot harder now. Okay, so we've got ourselves a maze. Now let's build the circuit in the center, which will explode everything if the player does anything that makes a sound. And for anyone who's watched the Life series, you know what I'm about to do. And you also know that I'm about to make a backup, because these things can go off accidentally. I don't know why, I'm still nervous. Okay. Oh no, there's a block missing! Oh. Can I do this? Oh, we got away with it. Now we're on to the final stages. This sign platform looks weirdly cool. And now our desert well is ready to be tested. So here it is in all of its glory. It looks a little bit cooler than the regular desert well. I like the mismatched blocks. I like the addition of the fence posts and things. But of course, we all know that the exciting stuff happens when we throw a book into the center. And then, whoa. Okay, that looked really, really cool. And seeing all of the gold ingots pouring out of the fountain in the center, it's pretty satisfying. I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with how everything's come together here. And of course, we're picking up a small amount of loot, but the gold isn't the best part about this structure. The best part is all of the stuff in these tombs. I'm incredibly curious to see what happens if I open all of them. Here goes. All right, first door is opening, and it's cave spiders. Okay. And then this one over here. Alright, we've got the zombies. They're coming. And then, of course, we've got all of the skeletons. That's exciting. And finally, I guess, we have got all of the witches. Oh, okay, they've all started leaving. I'm bad at this. I'm bad at this. Wow, okay. Definitely don't open all the tombs at once. Oh my goodness! This is an absolute disaster! This is a disaster! This is a disaster! Come on! Oh, wow. Oh, disaster. Oh, this is the one! Come on, let me in! Let me in! Yes! I have to be very quiet. Oh, it's giving me some blocks. Amazing. Note from Editor Mumbo here, that was unintentional but fantastic. Now I can sneak through the maze, and hopefully I don't trigger anything. Wow, I designed this thing and I've got myself lost. Where on earth am I meant to go? Am I going the wrong way? No, I think I've done a loop. I have done a loop. I got myself lost. Maybe I could place a block to tell myself where I've got. Oh yeah. If I had been sensible about this whole situation, then this would have been my experience. Gradually turning up, disabling the sculk sensor, and getting my 16 diamond blocks. In short, this transforming desert well is an interesting redstone build with some challenges that, if you're smart about it, you can defeat. I would highly recommend not opening all of the tombs at once. It's been a really fun redstone project to work on. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya!